My wonderful Panthers, this is Miss Bellish speaking. We're going to go through the 3 discussion questions that you will need to respond to this week. So here are the 3 discussion questions. The first one reads, summarize the meaning of the poem. The second one is, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly, lines 1 through 5. What do you think the quote means about life? And then the third discussion question is a text to self question. So what dreams do you have for this year? How can you keep your dreams alive? So I'm going to help you out with these by providing some STEM sentences to help you answer these questions. So let's hone in on that first question, which is to summarize the meaning of the poem. Anytime we are going to summarize the meaning of a poem, we're going to want to look back at the poem and find at least 3 central ideas in the text. So the first thing I'm going to look for is the theme. Now, the theme is a sentence that describes repeating ideas. So let's look through the text. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow. So what I'm seeing is a repetition of dreams and what happens if they die or fade away / go. So the theme I'm going to write down is hold tightly to your dreams. Notice that I wrote down a full sentence. Anytime that we are talking about a theme, it is going to be a sentence that we write out. So the theme of this poem is to hold tightly to your dreams. So there's one thing we can include in our summary. So I'm going to put a star right next to it. The next thing we want to look at is anything else that may be repeating that we want to include. So for example, I'm noticing multiple metaphors. Now a metaphor is a comparison between 2 things and it does not include like or as. Because if we use like and as, then we have a simile. But here we have a metaphor because Langston Hughes is saying life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. If he were writing a simile, it would be life is like a broken winged bird that cannot fly. But he's saying definitively these 2 things are the same. He's comparing life that with a life without dreams to a broken winged bird. So life without dreams equals a broken winged bird. He also has another metaphor in the second stanza. So this is the first stanza and this is the second stanza. Stanzas are just like paragraphs, but for poems. So I'm going to write down stanza. So in the second stanza, he says, "For when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." So I'm going to also say life without dreams equals a snowy, barren field. Okay, now that I have annotated my text and I know specific ideas I'm going to write in my summary, I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. So, we're going to summarize the meaning of the poem. You are going to use these sentence stems. In the poem Dreams by Langston Hughes, the author shows blank. Langston Hughes uses metaphors comparing blank. The metaphors are important because blank. These are your sentence frames. What I'm going to point out also is that right here, where I have in the poem Dreams by Langston Hughes, that is our tag that we talked about in the last videos. So that is our title, author, and genre. That's how we use academic language in a way that communicates what we want effectively. So in the poem Dreams by Langston Hughes, the author shows blank. I'm going to model to you what an exemplar summary would look like. In the poem Dreams by Langston Hughes, the author shows the importance of holding tightly to your dreams. Notice that this is the theme that we talked about. So underneath here, I'm going to write down the word theme. Moving on to the second sentence frame. Langston Hughes uses metaphors comparing blank to blank. So let's fill in that blank. Comparing a life without dreams to a bird with broken wings and a snowy, barren field. Now let's move to the last sentence of our summary. The metaphors are important because. I'm going to write the metaphors are important because they show us that without dreams, we cannot fulfill our purpose and we will feel lifeless. Okay, if you want to pause the video here, you can, and take a, you can take a screenshot or just write down the stem frames, and I'll make sure that I include these in your folder as well. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. We have a quote, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly." Lines 1 through 5. What do you think this quote means about life? So I have some sentence frames for you. This one's a lot simpler than a summary because we only have to write one sentence instead of 3. The quote means blank. So you're going to interpret that however you want to. Let me just emphasize that no interpretation is wrong. You are the reader, so you get to interpret what this quote means. So for me, the quote means that a life without dreams is not fulfilling. And what do I mean by that? So if you're a bird and your wings are broken, you can't fly. But what do birds do? Birds fly. That's their purpose. So if you can't fulfill your purpose, then life must feel kind of bad. You can take a screenshot of this, or and I'll make sure to include the sentence frames in your folder as well. Okay, last one. Text to self. What dreams do you have for this year? How can you keep your dreams alive? So this one, you guys know exactly what to say because you're just talking about yourself. But I'll give you some sentence frames to build off of. The dreams, so I'm going to talk about this first question. What dreams do you have for this year? The dreams I have for this year are blank and blank. Now let's look at the second question. How can you keep your dreams alive? I can keep my dreams alive by blank. And I know for me, what helps me keep my dreams alive is to have someone to keep me accountable. So maybe I share with my friends how I really want to write a book. I keep those alive by being accountable. So telling my friends that I want to do this thing so that they can keep me in check and ask me, oh, how's writing your book coming along? Also, I'll keep myself accountable by actually writing every day. But yeah, so these are your sentence frames you're going to use for your discussion questions. Bye, guys.